Turn the air conditioner off. Okay. Aloha. I think we're live.
Aloha.
Yeah. I think we got to wait a second for it to kind of. Can everybody hear me okay? If my audio is bad, please let me know. I have to use the microphone on the laptop. So, and then we have.
Got to wait a second for it to kind of.
Oh, and then I got to mute that.
Okay? If my audio is bad, please.
There we go. Now we're live. Now we're live for real. Say hi, Auntie Freeze.
Hi, everyone.
Can you hear her okay? Oh, Jamie's here. Jamie's in the house. Whoop, whoop. Jamie Swim.
Nice.
Yeah. Excellent. She got her wand finally.
Wonderful. That was very amazing. That was very amazing how it went together.
Yes. Yes, yes. Okay. Well, so, I don't know if you know this, well, you probably don't because none of you know me or Auntie Freeze very well, but we are both from Eastern Idaho. So we were going to talk a little bit today about, man, this whole mess that's happening in our backyard there with the Daybell case, and just kind of how surreal that is to be having that. Just, I mean, right? Crazy, yeah?
Yeah, it's really crazy. It's crazy that kind of cult activity could be going on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
That it's spread throughout so many little towns, and this is really a rural farm area, and it blows me away.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It has been insane. Yeah, I can't believe they took the memorial down, though. That just really breaks my heart.
It really breaks my heart, too. I'm glad that I got the pictures that I got before they did. That was the weekend before they did.
Yeah.
I took the last pictures, and it's sad that they took it down. I think that it would be great to establish a place to start a memorial for them.
Yeah, we need to. We definitely need to.
Because I think that the community really needs that, especially with coming up with the anniversary and Kylie's birthday. And
Yeah.
I think that the community needs somewhere to put their love. We didn't know these children personally, but we all loved them as part of the community.
Yes. Yeah. We definitely need a place.
There's a spot right around the corner that is from Chad's house that is some kind of tourist.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So I think that might even be a good place to put it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That would be. That is right up the road. If that was the sign. Let me look. Sorry about that. And anyone's earphones. Okay. Let me just quickly look through the 6,000 pictures I have on my phone, making it not run.
Oh yeah, that's not what we're here to do at this moment. Let's do that later. But that's just an idea to throw out there. I think that maybe that might be an easy idea. I have a little memorial thing that I'd like to put up there, and I didn't get to put it up before they took it down, and I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because it just got took down. And I think that's sad.
That is. I really wonder what they did with it, with this stuff. It's that little Fort Henry sign. So it's that sign that talks about in 1810, Andrew Henry and a party of trappers from St. Louis established a winter outpost about 6 miles west of here. And it's, showing this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. that. And I think that would be great. And for a moment, if people don't know what's going on, then if they're stopping to see the history, there's a little bit of history right there on that corner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But like I say, Idaho it's in this particular area, there's lots of beautiful mountains and that, but in this particular area, it's hilly. There's a lot of farmland. There's sand out there and sagebrush and
yeah, it is crazy. All right, I kind of showed the picture a little bit, maybe. Oh, there we go. Fort Henry. That's the little sign. We'll put it in a video. But yeah, that would be a good spot. Jamie made it, she says. Wahoo! Aloha! We were just talking to you before you got here. We didn't know you weren't here. So,
hope you love your wand. It was fantastic putting it together.
We're on here with Antifreeze. And Jen too. Hi, Jen. All right. I'll get a drink here. Okay, so we were trying to do some deep diving on this Chad. We talked about him in the last one. And yes, she is. She's the one that made it. Jamie says, you're the one that made it. It's seriously amazing. And my sisters love it, she says.
I am the one that made it, and it's wonderful working with the stones and the energy. The energy just flows, and it's quite demanding. And there were some unique things that went on yours that were rather interesting. So I'm glad you love it.
Lots of power, she says.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Good for lots of different things.
I've seen her make those. She's like a machine. She just like, and just grabbing them and it just all locks together perfectly. It's pretty amazing. It's cool to watch.
It's really amazing that the energy is what really does it. The stones choose themselves. They know what one goes on next and where they're supposed to be. It's and which one's supposed to be there. It's a rather amazing process. But I'm glad you're enjoying it. Give me a call if you want to talk about getting some for your sisters.
She says it's gorgeous. She felt really connected to it right away. Thank you so much. Hearts. It's super comfortable to hold on to too.
Perfect. It was for her. They were supposed to be for her.
Mm-hmm. She says, yes, I do want to get some for my sisters. Oh, the number's on that card too. You have her number already on the little card that was on it. Sweet. Yes, we are rock hounds, me and Laurie. And Laurie, like, especially, like, she is like oops, shit, sorry.
That's all right.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Okay. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, we freaking love going looking for rocks. It's just been like obsession from childhood, man. Yeah. But oh man, your collection. Oh, wow. She said the Apache tear, oh my God, I lost it. Right.
That, yeah. Yeah, I was pretty connected right there. But definitely give me a call and we'll talk about it. That's fantastic.
Yes. Okay, so we were gonna okay, so this is only my second live, and this time I'm like really trying to concentrate on not spilling stuff on my lap and making sure I don't sit around with my mouth hanging open like I did the last time. So it's a little bit, tiny bit awkward, but it's fine. We're gonna get through it. We're gonna do this. So but yeah, Laurie and I were talking. Oh shit, I did it again. Fuck.
It's okay, it's out there.
It's out there.
They're taking it back now.
Oh,
it's out there. I'm not in disguise or anything, so it's okay.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right. Well, we were talking about Chad.
We were talking about Chad. Yes. And we were talking about how right before we were talking about how wonderfully he was able to just fly under the radar, just as a, just appearing as though he was a good, decent stand-up guy, and then all of a sudden doing this kind of stuff, just like Ted Bundy or something. Ted Bundy's neighbors described him as just wonderful, as I recall, didn't they? Great guy, no problems with him, and this is how people describe Chad.
Yeah, Chad was rather boring.
Yeah,
he was. He had his book thing going for him, so he could say that he was an author and he had all these books. But the books aren't that great.
Oh, the books are awful.
And it's maybe at a 4th, 5th grade reading level.
Yes.
Just like the
Generously.
text he wrote.
Yes.
To Tammy about the raccoon. It was really 4th, 5th grade writer reading level.
Yes, absolutely. The books are hard to get through for that reason. Ugh.
And repetitive.
Yes. Yes.
And I think that's a lot of how Chad was. I think that he probably had this younger mentality and was repetitive in his actions.
Yeah. I don't think he ever really truly got over like that, wanting to be, the popular thing too.
Well, yeah. He wanted to be the cool kid. And so when he became a writer, say that, and it did. He was able to pick up women this way. And unfortunately for Tammy, he did. He used it as a flirting tool with the women. And then the women would think, ooh, this is a successful writer.
Right.
And then he would go on with his "we're connected in a past life."
Yes, "we're connected in a past life" line. Like that tired old line.
As a matter of fact, we were married in a past life. And so therefore anything that we're doing right here, right now in this life, even though I'm married, doesn't really matter because we were married in a past life.
That's right.
And his way of thinking was really bizarre, but it was really
juvenile.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. And he didn't have new tricks up his sleeve. He was going to try the same kinds of lines. And I really think he got in over his head with Lori.
Yeah.
I think that she was in the list of finding out what girl would fall for these lines. And
so Jamie is asking, who is this Chad? So are you familiar with the Lori Daybell case? Like the cult mom? Some people have not heard of Chad. Can you imagine?
Oh, okay. Well, here we are on a first name.
Right? Okay, so Chad is Chad
Basis
Daybell.
with Mr. DeBell.
DeBell, Mr. DeBell. Yes. And he's actually from Springfield, Utah. Okay, now she knows. Okay, yeah. So we're talking about Chad. Because, okay, so all of that stuff took place in Eastern Idaho. And, yeah. Yep, that's his name. Yeah. Okay, we're up to speed now.
All right. Yeah. All right. I guess we did just kind of.
We just jumped right in there.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Yes.
So I really, when we thought.
Oh, you're cutting out a little. Hold on here. Say that again.
I think that when he finally got to Lori and she was biting at his hook, she had her motive, but he was just eating it up because finally someone was really falling for it. I don't so much. I think that the path that he was on when it intersected with Lori's path, it collided and it fit in with what her path and her agenda was.
Yes.
I think she used him like a tool set, not just a tool, the whole tool set.
Oh my God, yes. Yes. Oh, that's an excellent analogy. An excellent analogy. And he ate it up. He did. He loved being controlled by her.
She was a pretty woman, and she did her blinkety blink thing. She needed to say to get him to do whatever she needed to get him to do.
Yes.
Obviously. Yes. I mean, obviously he agreed to have those children on his property before his wife was even passed away. She was at work, for crying out loud, when they were out digging a hole. He absolutely did everything that she was requiring and requesting.
Yes.
Pure insanity. It truly is. It truly is. And I think that she was well, I'm just going off on my theories and my feelings now, but.
Yeah, well, that's what we're here to do.
I think she had the agenda of being done raising kids as she was getting out of her last marriage. She was done raising kids, but she didn't want him to have kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think she played into that as well, as a tool. And with his beliefs, she could wrap that up into her reasoning not to have.
144,000 group did not allow for any children either. Like, everyone had to get rid of their kids or whatever to, either send them to most of them just let their exes have them, I believe that Lori and Chad are the only ones that went that, sinister step,
Well, yeah, I mean, I even feel sorry for these other people that were part of this cult part of it. Feel sorry for them. I'm sure that they weren't okay with.
Yeah, they're like
children because you think they were zombies.
No.
I mean, I'm sure that they had their theories and had their beliefs that went along with what that they were doing. I really don't know a whole lot about what they were doing, but I'm sure they had their beliefs that coincided. But I feel bad for them because I'm sure they never saw it coming.
No.
That people would actually be capable of that.
To go that extra mile. I'm sure they were just like, they're a little weird, but I mean, they're harmless.
I mean, that goes back to our small little country towns out here.
You would never suspect.
No, and you wouldn't really think that somebody is abusing their children at home, especially not somebody like that.
No.
You don't assume the worst in people, and it's easy to believe the lies that people tell when they're just in passing and they're simple. And even as far as well, where's Tylee? Oh, she's off to college. It was easy. It was easy for him to just assume, okay, that's great, and not ever check up on it, because we go long time without even seeing our close friends. It's country living.
Yeah.
Talk once a month, See, and we certainly don't keep up on each other's children.
Yeah.
I mean, they were a lot closer. They were, there was church appearances and stuff like that. But it's still easy to say, oh, she's here, or he's JJ's gone with the aunt or the grandma, or whatever her story was there, that JJ had left with somebody else. And I feel bad for the people that were around her that are like absolutely in shock of the whole scale of it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Man, especially. Oh my God. That's just.
Oh, I feel so bad for him. I really do. I really do. And as a community, we need to just embrace him and help him.
Absolutely.
I do. I feel so bad for him.
Yeah. That's just got to be, I mean, it's to be raised by a, narcissistic mother like that anyway, and then like to have it all just explode so horrifically. I mean, he's got to feel like it just, I just can't imagine. I just cannot imagine.
Well, yeah, I mean, he certainly couldn't have been blind to fire, and now I'm sure it's a lot of high insight to him as well. He's probably looking back and thinking, or how lucky he was to have made it through in some situations. I mean, you always look back and you think, oh, there was psychotic signs, there was things that, not that he ever could have seen this coming. He never could have seen this coming.
Right.
But that just brings up so much for him, because it's his mom, it's his siblings.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's his mom, to stop and think, oh my gosh, how could my mom be capable of this? He's got to dive deep and into the dark and into the things that he had pushed off or shut away in a closet in his mind, or totally forgot about, or just ignored or passed over. Or he's got to be going over all of those kinds of things to see if anything could have gave him a clue. Nothing could have. It's sad. It's so sad for him. I wish I could just give him a hug, and I really hope that he knows that there's a lot of people out there that care about him.
Yeah. Absolutely. I was watching Analytics last night. She did a live stream.
Nice.
She was talking about her dashboard, which is just like absolutely amazing. That she's been able to take her now Annie is Annie Cushing. That's Tylee's aunt and Joseph Ryan's sister. And she's just taken all of this grief that she has and converted it into just making this extensive, very detailed, like you're not going to find anything else out there that has more information and cited sources than her dashboard, and so
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
How amazing. How amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it would be hard. It would be hard to see why the drive, you'd have such drive to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Grace Naomi says she was watching Annie last night too. Yeah. Oh, Jamie says she used to live in Springville. Did I just see that go by? Springville. Oh, she did. Jamie used to live in Springville.
Springville.
That's where Chad and Tammy are from.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, she says.
Oh.
Let's see. Grace says when Annie, she's talking about Annie, when she got choked up, that got me, stabbed me right in the heart. Yeah, me too, man. She was talking about all of it, like what it was like to be in court, like all of that kind of stuff, and hear that about her family member. And then she says Annie's kind of a genius, and she absolutely is a genius. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right up there with, all of the best of the best. Like there's law enforcement people that are looking at her dashboard going, we should be doing it like that. Like that's how we should do it. Yeah. And then she says, and Annie's a smart ass too. She loves it. I do too. Annie's awesome. You would love Annie. You got to watch that.
Nice. I will definitely have to watch that.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. I got to watch the comments. I keep forgetting to look over there.
Yeah. So I'm curious a little bit about what Richmond's like. What is it? Is it a bigger town?
Springville?
Is it smaller town kind of thing? Or
yeah, what is Springville like, Jamie? Springville, Utah. Let's see, she answers. I think there's a little bit of a delay too. I'm not sure.
I think that there is, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. We can wait.
Yes.
I am interested in that.
Definitely.
Like, did they come from a big hustle and bustle out to this country little farmhouse? Or
I feel like Springville, Utah is small. Just the name sounds small. It sounds like a little sleepy little town, But
yeah,
I'm just guessing. It's judging a book totally by its name.
well, that totally is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, considering that we're talking to somebody else that's so far away but used to live there.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, absolutely. I lived in the Gilbert Chandler area for a little while too, but it was so hot. I could not take it. As I fan myself right now, But that's like deadly hot in Arizona. That's just, and it's a dry hot. Yes. Oh, in Idaho, it's always about it being a dry cold, man. It's crazy. Yeah. I really don't miss the snow though. I tell you what. You got winter is coming. We might have lost Jamie.
You're gonna rub the snow in my face. You might lose me too.
I didn't mean it like that. I didn't. I really didn't.
She'll be all like, "Oh, it's hot," and I'll be like, "I've been out shoveling snow for 2 hours. I still can't get out of my driveway."
Yeah, and that's true. You get some crazy snow. Crazy, crazy. It's insane. There's people here that have never seen snow. Like you are not missing anything. It's fun until you have to shovel it. Then it's not fun anymore. First time you fall down at Mach speed.
It's beautiful and enchanting if you're in a cabin and you don't have to go anywhere and somebody else is going to come along and plow the road.
Yeah, that's true.
For you.
You can just sit and romantically look out the window and watch it
Yes, and it's beautiful and enchanting. It really, really is. But I recommend it on vacations only.
Yes. Visit it, leave, go back to the warmer weather. Absolutely.
And even if you don't like snowmobiling, as long as you like hot cocoa or hot toddy,
or reading,
you're okay. It's okay. Hot tub, that's okay. Those all three go well in the winter in the snow.
Absolutely.
Over a weekend.
Yes. Icy hot springs. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we lost Jamie. She's not answering the Springville question. What was it like in Springville, Jamie?
That's okay. She might have had an errand or something to do real quick.
Oh, yes. Busy, busy lady. Busy, busy, busy. Amy Swim Art. I'll just throw that out there. Go check her out. Jamie Swim. Did I just say Amy? Oh my God. What the hell is the matter with my mouth? I mean, Jamie Swim Art. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Well, what else should we talk about?
Crickets. There's a lot of crickets in Idaho, too.
There is crickets. There's a lot of crickets. You can get the crickets. You can sell the crickets. People like to use them for fishing and for feeding their lizards. A lot of people seem to have, there's a lot of Tiger King type people in Idaho with all of the exotic pets with the having had a monitor lizard at one point, but only briefly. Yeah. You still haven't watched Tiger King, have you? You got to be the only person in the United States that hasn't.
Who are you talking to?
You.
Are you on me on live YouTube?
No, I would never.
I didn't think so. I thought you were talking to somebody else. Yeah.
All right, so we have Andy Crayons just joined. She plugged our live stream on Discord. Right on. Yeah.
Okay,
so,
good deal.
Yep, we were just talking about being Eastern Idaho. I'm trying to think of what to talk about without giving away too much of what I'm putting in my videos soon. I just need to hurry up and get those out so that I can not tiptoe around those. It's kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you do. It's crazy. I talk about how rural Idaho is, and it's really crazy how much crime, not like crime, I mean like murders. How many murders?
Weird
really?
murders.
Let's say that.
Yeah, because there was that chick that the guy killed. He killed her and buried her in the basement and then took off with the mistress. Was that?
Yes.
That was.
Yes.
What was that? It was like 2 years ago? Something?
Yes, and that was over the holidays, right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, people get way crazy around.
And that was just horrible.
Horrible.
We'd really like to go in that and do.
Yeah, we're gonna do a video on that.
Segment on that.
Definitely have to do a segment on that.
Horrible. There was the guy that was moving. He was married, moving from Utah to Idaho. Bought a piece of property here in Idaho. Got his girlfriend and her daughter to move in with them, and then his wife showed up from Utah in this house that they were supposed to be buying and moving into. And anyway, he killed his wife and the woman and her daughter, I believe.
Wow. I didn't even hear about that one.
He's still on the run.
Wow.
He's still running. He's like 63 or something like that. He was an older gentleman. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We could do a little thing on Paul Ezra Roads too, actually.
And that was horrible. Paul Ezra Roads was back in the 80s, and
Terrible.
That was random people he was killing. He killed
Yes.
a school teacher, and he killed
It was his own teacher. She was his own teacher.
a kid that was
Susan
working in
Michelbacher.
a convenience store out at Buck's convenience store.
Yep.
Yeah,
And put him in the ice cream
somebody
freezer or
else
something,
too.
as I recall.
Yeah, I think they ended up finding him hiding in a ditch out in the country. I think that's where they arrested Paul Rhodes from. I'm not sure. It's been a long time ago. But I remember being afraid of somebody going around killing people, and we didn't know why or what was going on.
Yep. We had split sessions at my junior high when that was happening. So I was going to school at night when that was happening. Like we went to school at like noon, and then we got home at like 7 or something like that. Of course, it's dark by then. Yeah. And all the while, my mom's like picking me up from the bus stop with a pitchfork and stuff. And the whole time, like his cousins were right on that same corner. Like they were right there in my neighborhood, Paula's Roads.
Oh, my land.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then there's that done. He's the guy, he kidnapped the 2 children and held them up there
Duncan
by Lolo Pass. Duncan.
Yeah.
That guy, that was horrible. He killed that little boy.
Yeah.
There was a guy in Boise here just a couple of years ago that went into this little girl's birthday party and then stabbed the little girl to death in the middle of all of her friends.
What was that? That was insane.
That was a horrible one. That happened in Boise just a few years ago.
Yeah.
A lot of horrible crime happens here, and it's been since, the Wild West was formed. Ted Bundy.
Yeah, Ted Bundy came right through. Yeah.
And I mean, there's the dismembered skeletal remains found up by Du Bois that dates back to the 1700s to what was
Loveless. Yeah.
Yeah,
the Loveless Cave.
Some old guy.
Yeah. They were calling it, what was it, like Moose Cave or something? And just to make things really weird, like they found like a peacock or something in there with him or something, which they did.
Yeah, it was. Was
it not a peacock?
It was right. It was something else.
It was something.
It was, right.
It was something
like
really
emu.
weird. Emu. Was it an emu? It was. It was an emu.
No,
was it? It was something like that though. Like something.
It was.
Some bizarre. Like, what does this have to do with this crime too? But yeah, I bet that was his kids. I feel like that was his children. Did that?
That was.
Him.
He was.
Evil man.
He killed his wife.
Yeah.
And he was a jailbreaker, and so they locked him up, and his children said, well, it won't matter, he's just going to break out anyways.
Right.
And sure enough, he did, and then he wasn't heard from again.
Right.
Until like the 1970s or 1980s, something.
Yeah.
When somebody found his torso in a cave in Du Bois. So it dates back to the Wild Wild West.
It does.
Small town, rural Idaho. Oh my gosh, there was that guy. He owned farm and ranch land or something up by Chalice. And one of his workers come up missing. And this was just a couple years ago too. This guy was probably in his early 40s. His ranch hand was in his early 20s. And they ended up, he picked him up for work that day and he never come back home.
Wow.
And they ended up finding him buried. And that guy's still going to court and still going to figure out what he gets.
Oh, I keep forgetting to look at the comments. So Andy Crayons asked, a few people were talking about Julie Rowe earlier. I don't know much about Then Grace Naomi asked, "Oh my goodness, did he know the little girl at the party? What was the motive for the guy that went in and killed that little girl at the party?"
He lived in the apartment also, and I think that he was claiming that he had some kind of a mental illness. It was horrid. I should actually pull up my laptop so I could name some names and stuff because absolutely horrible.
Right.
Horrible.
So Julie Rowe, I'll talk about her while you get your laptop out. But yeah, Julie Rowe, she is just wow. She is something else. She is like a longtime member of this group, the Avow and the Preparing a People, and her and Chad go back to 2014. That's when she had met him through that network of the Preparing a People type thing. I actually have a thought that I kind of wonder if Chad moved to Rexburg because of Julie Rowe. He seems to like kind of latch on to these women in this group and then just sort of structure his life around it. So he did. He went to meet with her about her book, and then not too long after that, Chad talks about in one of his books about he heard a voice in St. Rexburg. So I have to point out that he did not move to St. Anthony. He moved to Rexburg, but there is a prison in St. Anthony. So I mean, fingers crossed. Anyway, so then he takes his whole family, moves them from Springville, Utah to Rexburg. And Tammy was never really into that. But then that puts him close to this Julie Rowe woman. So apparently they are, connected through the Preparing a People group. And she was really one of his strongest supporters, along with Christopher Parrott, I think his name is. And oddly enough, she was one of these that was doing podcasts like on or around the days of the kids' last days. But it's probably purely coincidental. She podcasts from her car a lot. I can tell you that. Apparently, that's because she has kids that I don't know. And then what else do I know about Julie Rowe? Oh yeah, she went on Nancy Grace and like basically completely threw Chad under the bus and said that all of a sudden now, no, she wasn't supportive of him. He wasn't this great guy. In fact, he sexually harassed her, and so she's been really flip floppy about it. She was in complete support of him until the kids were found, and then that's when she has her negative things to say. All right. Did you get it pulled up?
Absolutely.
All right, Grace. Back to your question.
A news article. This was three.
Three.
A 3-year-old girl who was among 9 people stabbed at her birthday party in Idaho over the weekend has died from her injuries, the police said on Monday. This happened July 30th, 2018.
Yeah, so 2 years ago.
This happened. Yeah.
It's so horrible.
So the girl was celebrating her birthday in an apartment complex in Boise on Saturday night when a man who had recently been ejected from the complex returned and came upon the toddler's outdoor party just a few doors down from where he had been staying. So stop with the article, and it was the people that he was staying with had threw him out because of his erratic behavior and that.
Yeah.
And okay, and the little girl was Ruya Kadir, an Ethiopian refugee who was brought to the United States by her mother in 2015. Girl Stockholm lives in Turkey.
You should repeat that because you started to cut out a little. And that's
okay. I said that the little girl's name was Ruya Kadir, an Ethiopian refugee who was brought to the United States by her mother in 2015. The girl's father lived in Turkey. So right after she was born, she was brought here to the States.
And came here for a better life, and then only to have it snuffed out by this jerk that didn't like being kicked out. And wants to, like walk around being an absolute jerk to everybody.
Yeah. It says the authorities have not released the names of the 5 other children ranging from age 4 to 12 who were injured in the stabbing. 3 adults were also wounded while trying to intervene after Mr. Kinner went on a stabbing spree about 8:45 on Saturday. The guy's name is Timmy Earl Kinner.
Timmy Earl Kinner.
Yeah. I don't think he's finished going to court either. Let me see.
No. Corona court slowed all that down.
Says he was at a mental health facility for a while.
No.
He had past crimes in Tennessee. Looks like they found him incompetent to stand for trial, but I don't know if he might be. His trial's been postponed till 2021, so they're still working on that one also.
Yeah. They're like, that's all right, we'll wait. Like, fine, you just get right in your head so you can get up to that defense table and you're going down, boy. Yes. Okay, so Grace Naomi is saying, am I correct in believing that Idaho has the death penalty but not an insanity defense? Timmy E.K. get death? He has not been, he has to be able to stand trial and whatnot. So you can't plead insanity, but you can be incompetent to stand trial. So that's where he's at. Don't worry about it. Blow up the chat. Blow it up. She says, I'm blowing up your chat. I'll calm down. No, it's cool. There's only a few of us in here, so we can talk about whatever we want. Yeah, so they've got him like in this mental institution. She was saying that they put the trial off till 2021. And so I think that they'll probably go for the death penalty on him. That guy, Paul Israel Rhodes we were talking about, got the death penalty.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they'll go for a death penalty with this guy or not. I really don't. I don't know. I don't know. Idaho's kind of messed up.
It is.
As far as that goes, there's things they should have went with for a death penalty, or they should have went, and the people get a slap on the wrist. It's crazy.
Yeah. It
truly is crazy.
It is. And then people that should have got a slap on the wrist are in prison for 15 years,
Yes.
Well, Idaho is the birthplace of prison, I believe. We were the first ones to. Oh no, wait, maybe not prison, of the position warden, the warden thing, because we would move people from prison to prison so that they could work, and the warden position became a necessity because they kept losing people on the way. We just did lose the records and lose the prisoner, so they're just like, well, too bad, you just couldn't keep up or whatever. So yeah, I'll have to do something on that too. And we have some pretty interesting history in that way, the history of prison in Idaho. So
yes, there's also there was that woman that drove up from Montana. Her children were staying at her dad's house up there in Rexburg, and she drove up from Montana and shot her dad.
Oh yeah.
Took her kid.
Oh my gosh.
And then I think that she got a mental plea bargain.
Yeah. An incompetency thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't too long ago.
Yeah. Well, they're very crappy about treating.
I was trying to type and talk at the same time, and my talking got really slow.
They're the way that they care for people in Idaho that are mentally ill is awful. It's terrible.
Like, it is really, really
no
awful.
help.
Okay, so this woman ended up pleading guilty and saying that she killed him during a schizophrenic episode.
Oh, wow. That's awful. That's preventable. That's preventable. That was preventable. Just with proper care. Okay, question. The phone call where Melanie Gibbs and Lori Vallow have scriptural smackdown. Yeah. Okay, Lori tells MG that even Alex hasn't been told where JJ was. Does that hold up in implicating herself and Chad as the main perps, asking for a friend? Ooh, I think that it does look very bad for them trying to say that they weren't part of the murder or the actual killing itself, but the way that they talked on that phone call, it sure sounded like they had a lot more, information. Like, well, even Alex hadn't been told where JJ was, But yet Melanie Pulowski said that Alex told her that she wouldn't want to know where the kids were and that no one would ever find them. So that's an interesting statement by him, but she's the only one that can say that, She's conveniently the only witness left in that conversation because Alex is no longer here. So that's almost like padding it against Alex some more, but I think that they're going to have a very strong case for conspiracy, and I really hope that they get charged for the murder too, because I feel like that Lori was definitely part of at least one of them. I don't think Tylee was. I think that they had to, that whole "we shot a raccoon" thing was because, in my opinion, I think that maybe they tried to drug or poison Tylee, and because Lori had possibly, in my opinion, been drugging and poisoning her over a long period of time, and that's why she had so many health problems. I think that Lori fits the profile of Munchausen's just so perfectly. So, but I think that when they got to the farm that Tylee came to, that wasn't part of their plan, that they weren't expecting it, and then had to shoot her, and then had to come up with a story to explain why they were shooting off a gun. Because I'm sure it echoed. Ooh. And so and then perhaps the whole egregious nature of her remains was to cover up that, because bullets are so completely traceable. So that would motivate him to go to some pretty extreme measures with her remains to keep her from, so even if she was found, that it could be traced back to, say, a gun owned by, like, in my opinion, perhaps Chad, that he may have, in my opinion, pointed at his wife at one point and then ran back in the house and tried to come out as a hero,
Yeah.
Andy wonders if hearsay is still prohibited when the witness has died. That's a good question. That's a very good question. We need a lawyer to come to to one of our chat sessions to answer these types of questions. Yes. I'm curious how I'm curious how Chad was able to get them not to do an autopsy on Tammy also. But speaking of Tammy, I mean, this stuff happened while this poor woman was at work, working with children, and then there were children being buried in her backyard, like, it's just awful. The nerve of these people. That's crazy. It's very hot. I'm going to just fan myself for a second. Pardon me. This time I remembered to turn the air conditioner off right at the very beginning, though, so maybe the audio will be better. Yeah, that raccoon story, that was some...
Yeah, that hearsay thing's a gray area.
It is.
A very gray area. It may or may not be.
Yeah. I noticed they sure didn't bring Melanie Pulowski to this, to the preliminary, though. Almost like they're saving that, I wouldn't be surprised if she gets named as a co-conspirator because she was right there next door to Lori all that time. I don't, I'm not saying she will be. I'm saying I won't be surprised if she does get charged with co-conspiracy. That little Melanie Pulowski, but she's pregnant right now, so, and she's due in, I think, September, oddly enough. Yeah. Tylee's birthday is coming up on the,
yeah.
What is it? I can't remember, but yeah, coming right up. She's September baby. It's just...
Yeah, it is coming right up.
Yeah. All right. So what other cases are there in Idaho? We'll have to go over some of these. We'll do some videos on these.
Right. Well, they're getting ready to do the Brian Drip case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that one?
He's the one that they have arrested for killing Angie Dodge.
No kidding.
Brian Drip. Yeah.
Finally. Oh, really? Oh, wow. I must have hear about that. Yeah. That's...
Yeah, although you did, you're just not remember. Brian Drip.
Brian Drip.
Yes, I believe you.
Angie Dodge is in. They charged Chris Tapp for it for a long time. And so they've got the actual real killer.
Yeah.
What a concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're keeping him behind bars. Let me see, I think. Oh, he's whining about the COVID concerns.
Oh, is he? Oh. Maybe don't kill people. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then you don't have to worry about that.
And they're like, no, you just sit down and shut up.
Yeah.
We're not letting you out because...
Yeah.
Because he has just as much chance getting it on the outside as he does in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I imagine they're going to be fighting an uphill battle with that because they went to so much trouble to blame Chris Tapp for that, to the point where even Angie's mom had to come forward and be like, he is not the one that killed my daughter. I mean, like, she became one of his biggest advocates.
For him for years.
Yes. Yes. So after they've done that amount of tampering with the evidence and all of that, how are they going to be able to then say, oh, but no, this time, we're not doing that. That's... Yeah, definitely got to do a video on that one and put that on the list. Hi, Courtney. All right. We're getting a big list now. Video ideas. How's your squash doing?
Squash coming out my ears.
Squash coming out your ears.
Yeah. Squash coming out. It's fabulous. Love squash.
My kitties keep going and digging up my squash and leaving little deposits in the hole. And then I don't know, I'm just watering and watering. And I'm like, what's going on with this? It's dying. And then I find out that they've dug it up right at the root of the absolute mother of the plant.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Little jerks.
Little stinkers.
Exactly, Andy Crayon. She says, sorry, you don't get to go to jail. Oh, don't go to jail and you won't need to worry about getting sick in jail. She says.
Right?
Yep. It's kind of the idea. Yeah. Solid strategy. This is my air conditioner so that you guys can hear me better. It is really hot.
You have to cool it down for a minute.
I have a little fan I'm using. It came out of one of my socks. It looks just like a microphone. Yes. But this is out of my new socks. I had to get new socks so I could wear real shoes. I didn't even have socks. It's crazy how much you go through shoes, like when you actually wear them. You know, I've gone barefoot for so long, I don't think I've ever got a really true picture of how I would wear out a pair of shoes. But, you know, certain circumstances have made me wear shoes all the time now, one of which is getting stung by the centipede, and then the other is, you know, germs. And so, yeah, I'm just walking right the hell out of my shoes. It's insane. It's crazy. Can't believe you guys do this all the time. Now I get it why people have so many shoes. You know. Dang.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that little gel that Chad is in is tiny too. So, I mean, it's not saying it's not like real live gel or whatever, but it is. It's just a tiny little. It's that little gel they've got him in Fremont County, right?
Yeah.
It's just little. I think it only holds like 100 people, doesn't it? Something like that. Madison County is 100 people, and I think it's bigger. Which one is bigger?
From what?
I'm wondering if Fremont County jail is bigger or if Madison County jail is bigger.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anybody ever going to Fremont County jail. Nobody I know of.
It might be bigger because Fremont County goes up to Island Park and all of that. It's a larger area. And because Rigby has a jail,
right?
Idaho Falls has their own jail.
Idaho Falls
so
is
there's
big.
A lot of close places that have jail next to Rexburg,
right?
Next to Madison County.
Yeah, Madison County's is 100. It can hold up to 100 people and 20 women at a time, but it can be adjusted. That's what I was able to find out about that. So they're in little tiny jails. Like it's, yeah. In very well to do sort of areas. They probably have good commissary.
They have an inmate search, but it doesn't look like they have a
I have to tell you what Andy just said. She says, lol, my aunt calls her squash. So then you asked, how's your squash? I snorted. Then the reply, squash coming out of my ears made me spit out my tea.
Because she says, because what?
Because her aunt calls her.
Oh my God.
Yep, squash. Yep. Yeah, they come out of my ears. That's what she said. Yes. Nice. Very good. That's an interesting nickname.
Well,
squash.
Here for your entertainment, right?
Yes.
Wow.
You're like, Auntie, the name's so visual. Stop it. You know, that's like when you, yeah. I'm going to stop there.
All right. It looks like the Fremont County Jail has 15 inmates.
Fremont County Jail has 15 inmates total right now?
Yes.
Wow. No wonder he's doing so good in jail. There's no one there. They can keep him completely separated. I guess Lori's reading Chad's books in jail, though. I bet she is. She's probably over there just writing him letters. I love you so much. Oh my goodness, do not roll on me, please. Please don't roll on me.
Yeah, 15 people in jail and 38 employees.
Wow, 15 people in jail and 38 employees. You ain't getting away with nothing. Nothing. Nothing.
No.
You're getting counted. All of your every move is monitored. Yeah. Wow. Good folks there in Fremont County. You can tell by their empty jail. All right. I couldn't find out how many people was in Madison County, so can you you got a number for that? How did you find that? Yeah.
I'm not sure. I just pulled it up on a website. It's USA County Records website.
Yeah.
Fremont County, Idaho jail inmate roster.
My phone is stuck on the blind button. Great. It does that. It does that when I'm on the phone sometimes. I have this button I can push and it zooms in, you know, my blind button. So
Yeah.
in case I don't have my contacts in and I don't know where my glasses are, I can still stumble through my phone, you know. Yeah. Grilled cheese Hunter is pretty odd, says. That actually sounds delicious. Grilled cheese. Yum. Do you think Lori will flip on Chad or Chad will flip on Lori or neither? I think that Chad's definitely going to flip on Lori because I feel like he's right now, it's dawning on him just how played he got. Because it is, you know, like when you're in a relationship like that narcissistic relationship, they're just in your head all the time. Now he's had time to go and sit off by himself and think about all of this and really like get his thoughts collected, do all of his praying and reflecting. And I think it's really starting to catch up to him just how screwed he is right now.
Yeah.
She says,
yeah.
Andy says that she thinks the only way Chinless Wonder will flip is when he realizes he doesn't have to cater to Lori anymore. And I think he is realizing that she is absolutely screwed, especially now they're looking at charges in Arizona too for Charles. And then, yeah, all of her charges here. So, and he also was not correcting his attorney when his attorney kept calling her Vallow in court has, like Chad like leaned over and corrected him when he was saying Melanie Gibbs' name. It's not Gibbs, it's Gibb. Whatever, however it was, he leaned over and corrected him on that. But yet Chad's attorney kept calling her Lori Vallow, not Lori Daybell.
Definitely separating himself from Lori. Definitely separating himself from Lori. And I mean, he married her, for heaven's sake. So I don't know how he thinks he's going to separate her from that situation. He buried her children on his property before his wife passed away. I don't know how he thinks he's going to separate himself from that situation in any way, shape, or form. Because sure, he wants to be separate from her now, but he was willing all along. So separate now or not, he's still responsible for what he did before.
Absolutely.
That makes sense.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't.
He was trying to make it like, oh, I didn't even know that they were there burying kids in my yard. I was writing a book. I didn't even, there's kids in my yard? Wow, that's weird. But at the same time, he's lying to the cops and trying to, act like he doesn't know Lori and doesn't know her phone number, and he's married to her, so.
Yes,
this guy.
Not an intelligent.
No, not the smartest criminal on the block. That is for sure. I've definitely not seen him in apartment 107, and you can just feel Alex Chad, yeah. They are not savvy. He was not savvy. Yeah. Not good at thinking on his feet whatsoever.
No. And I've thought all along that there had to be poisoning involved. She has to be a poisoner.
Yeah.
And they can't blame all this on Alex. Alex didn't do this alone.
Right.
She was well aware of the fact that her children were gone and when they come up missing, and she hid that.
Yeah. Courtney Latham says, I think the way she said, do you want me to pray? Do you want me to pray? And he laughed and said, no, I think it's because he realized God's not on his side and he screwed up. I think his motivation was sex and money.
I think.
And then Andy says he went from being a wiener who somehow got girls to being a murderer in order to keep Lori. Major regret is in his future. Yeah, major regret. Major.
Yeah, to me on that phone call when she asked him, do you want me to pray? He was almost shocked to, well, you haven't been already?
Yeah. Yes.
This
as
is
shocked as Eeyore can get.
Daily. This is a normal thing. Normal thing that they do daily in their religious and their beliefs. Praying is a big part of it.
So we're talking about the Lori Daybell, the cult mom case. So definitely not my personal story. Somebody else. Is this true crime or a personal story of yours? I'm confused.
Yeah, this is true crime.
True crime. Yep. Yeah, I think that they're going to be able to tie Lori absolutely into the Tammy. They'll be able to get her on conspiracy for that she conspired to help him do that and get it planned and pulled off, in my opinion. Don't come for me. Don't sue me. My opinion. Yeah. I think that's why they haven't released the autopsy results yet, and that's got to be making Chad very, 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 very nervous. So that I think that keeps him from completely flipping on her. knowing that she was involved with Tammy, knowing that he can kind of try to split some of the blame with her on the Tammy thing, and that's why he hasn't just completely flipped on her totally over the kids. Because if not for Tammy, what would he have to lose by being the first one to talk and flip?
Right, and his attorney was asking some really bizarre questions as far as insinuating things about Lori's relationship with her brother Alex.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he might be trying to deflect it in some way that way.
Yep.
And to make himself look like a victim in that way.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's trying to pull. I think he's just grasping at straws because that's all that he possibly has to hold on to.
Andy Crayon says, true crime, lol. I don't think the weird mom is a murderer. Thank you. Thank you for knowing I'm not a murderer. Yeah. Just very into true crime. Yes. Well, and really into this one because it's all like, I mean, I'm already into true crime. We both are. Me and Auntie Freeze, my caller here. But just it being just right there, it's like, again, some other weird, crazy thing happening. But this time it's like national. So at least it's getting some, I mean, that will make it a lot harder for them to just shove it under the carpet or not handle it the way they should, or they're being so, meticulously careful about taking every step correctly where it's so public, I don't think they want Netflix on there. Like they saw Making of a Murderer and then they were like, oh crap, and they thought about Chris Tapp and then they were like, man, Netflix, we better get our act together. So
right.
Courtney says, I've been thinking Melanie G and David W were more into the group than they let on as leaders, as in leaders. I want to know what Lori and Al's fight was about and how Zulema fits into this whole thing. I completely agree. And it's interesting to find out that Melanie Gibb did know Chad for so many years before all of this happened. Because really in the interviews that she did with Nate Eaton for the East Idaho News, he did those long interviews with Melanie Gibb. It almost sounds like she had just met Chad too, the way that she describes it, but she's very careful and deliberate about the way she says it. And so, yeah, it maybe, to me, that was it just shows that she's got like a pattern of being very deliberate and careful about how she words things, so that she can say that she wasn't lying, but she's lying by omission, really, I think her having known Chad for, I think it's like 4 or 5 years or something to that effect, before all of this happened, before Lori and Chad met either at the temple or at the convention or whatever, whichever theory you believe that, or, whichever one. But
yes, definitely a lot going on behind the scenes for a long time.
Right.
And I do agree with that. I think that they were more than just coming up here to go to conventions. I think that they were higher up as well, and maybe they were coming up to speak in conventions, or they were coming up to maybe glean information to take back to a different sector, something like that.
Right. And Courtney Latham is saying David's visions were very similar to Chad's book, i.e. Tsunami in California, Invasion in the US, and others. Absolutely. And then he comes off in court like he's just like this frail little old man and he just can't even, but then when you hear him on podcasting and stuff, he is sharp as a tack. There ain't nothing wrong with him. Like, and he's very smart and witty and well spoken, and so it was a performance on the stand. Like, I don't buy it, and maybe he was nervous, But, you know, I don't know. He's used to speaking in public and everything, you know, so I don't buy that. There were more questions there. That was a multi-part. Let me see. Lori and Al's fight. You know, I've heard the theory. There's been so many theories. Oh my gosh! And if you wade into Reddit, there's even some theories that Alex was. There's supposedly some evidence that someone has somewhere that is unverifiable, but that the fight was about Alex not being straight, and that him being sent to Zulema was some type of, you know, pray the gay away type thing. Like, here, go marry this woman now, you know, and she's a love coach and everything else, and you know, now you've been married up to a heterosexual woman in the church, in our group, you know. So, because one of the things she did that they say is that she's said during the fight is, you're a disgrace to the family. So that lends some credence to the whole, it could have been about Alex being possibly homosexual. So that's one theory, you know. And then there's another theory that she went there to fight with him over, she wanted him to help her with Charles, to take care of Charles, and that he was trying to refuse, that he didn't want to. So, yeah.
Awful childhood. There.
Hope you're cutting out a little bit. Hold on just a second. Okay, try again.
There were quite a few siblings, and they had quite a horrible childhood. Like some real bizarre stuff. I don't remember the specifics on it. When she was telling him, you're a disgrace to the family, that could be part of the manipulation tactics. I do believe that Lori manipulated Alex to do her dirty work all along.
Oh yeah.
I think
from day one.
Let her beck and call, boy.
Yeah.
If Lori needed something or Lori was in distress, she always had Alex to rely upon.
Mm-hmm.
And so saying something like that, I do believe was a tactic, a manipulative tactic.
Yeah. Absolutely. Grace Naomi says, I'd like to know how close MG and MP were. So Melanie Gibb and Melanie Pulowski. Melanie Gibb seemed to me to be holding back in the interview when she said she loved Melanie Pulowski, but Melanie Pulowski has never mentioned Melanie Gibb. That's interesting because Melanie Pulowski really has a lot to say about everything. She's like, she will take a short story and make it very long. You know, she over explains things, but yet she just does not talk about Melanie G at all. So it's almost like what she's not saying speaks volumes, you know. It's interesting in the same way that, like, so Annie Lytics, Annie Cushing brought up a very good point about if Tylee had made it into BYU, Lori was the kind of person that just had to like brag about everything, you know. So she would have absolutely been bragging that up, down, and sideways if Tylee made it into BYU on a GED at 16, you know. That would be, you know, you'd be bragging about that. That wouldn't be
right.
something that you had to have extracted from you, you know.
Right.
So, and Melanie Pulowski really emulates Lori, you know, and is very much the same personality type, or is trying to be, but she's just, you know, where Lori is like a mastermind manipulator, Melanie Pulowski is just like a little Padawan in that, and just learning to be a mastermind manipulator. Yeah, it's insane. But yeah, I feel like that both of the Melanies are very involved. It's just odd to me that they were there, Melanie Gibb and David Warwick, that they were there before both of the murders. The day before, both of them, they just happened to be there, And then Melanie Pulowski is right next door, and she's trying to act like, oh no, she doesn't have anybody there. Her kids are not there, but, and she doesn't know anybody in this town, Rexburg, and she's brand new to the town, but she doesn't go visit her aunt that lives right next door. Bull crap, so she was over there a lot. I'm sure she was over there a lot. So I just, yeah. Well, Hunter's pretty odd. He's saying he's telling his friend Comrade Blaze that he just looked at the subreddit for this case and people made fan art. He's like, obviously people making fan art and jokes about this horrible event is wrong. Well, but unless you're making it about the portal body, there's this whole joke going around about this, Chad but yeah, fan art. I think that's the people doing the paintings and stuff of the kids. Okay. Courtney says, I think they were trying to pin it on Mel G and David by having them stay that night and then telling her to tell the police JJ was with her. Oh, absolutely. Trying to suck them in and trying to get them involved in it. But Melanie G was involved. Right? She did help them because she did not she lied to the police. And she made it sound on that interview like she never lied to the police. But then she goes into court and she's like, oh, yep, I did. I said that JJ was with me. And then it was 10 days later before I called and straightened that out. And so that absolutely gave Lori and Chad a head start. And you can't, hear them talking about so-and-so's a zombie. Whoops, dead. So-and-so's a zombie. Oh, no, they're dead. Whoa. And then so-and-so's a zombie. Whoop, they're dead. And then, and then you hear her calling the kids zombies and then be like, but I didn't think she would do anything. I don't know. I just do not trust that Melanie Gibb at all, any more than I trust Melanie Pulowski. Melanie Pulowski is like naive and young, whereas Melanie Gibbs is more savvy and she's got the experience under her belt, and she uses that to hide her true nature, I think. But yeah, I don't trust her. I don't trust her at all. Courtney agrees they should be held accountable for not speaking up. Yeah. And the fact that he's seen the last thing he's seen in by David Warwick or whatever is the pajamas, and then that's what they found him wearing when he was found, the pajamas.
Yeah, they didn't get it elaborate on what pajamas. Yeah.
I thought it was red pajamas, something about red pajamas. There was so much, and the trial and the crap went on for so long. I swore there was something about red pajamas and a blue blanket. The blue blanket I remember.
Yes, that he was found with.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't elaborate on pajamas he was seen in.
Oh, that's true. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. You're right. Right. That's me. That's my speculation. That's true. Courtney says she goes back and forth. Oh, let's see. Grace says not one character in this cluster F has shown a shred of accountability.
No.
And they look medicated.
No.
And then Courtney says they do. They absolutely do. They look all, way too calm or way too alert. And then Courtney Latham says, I go back and forth on whether they actually believed in their visions or if they just made it all up. Same. Sometimes I think they actually believe their own crap, but but then other times it's just like they know, they have to know, like the amount of planning that went behind it, like kind of negates that, like they have to know. And Grace Naomi says Stepford, absolutely.
Well, I mean, something like that tumbles. You start preaching this theory and getting more people to believe it. The more you preach it, the more they believe it. The more you believe it, the more you're all going along with it together as a group and feeding off of it, feeding off of each other's ideas and feeding off of each other believing in this craziness. They feed off of each other. It's an exciting thing. And so part of it, inside loneliness, but the majority of them and the majority of their thoughts are probably rolling with it. It's true.
Right. You kind of cut out there, so if you want to repeat that, just like you cut out right in the middle of that.
Yeah. That when the cult mentality what he was preaching, what he was telling people, what he was wanting people to believe, and what they were all believing, they were all rolling with it together, and everybody having these ideas. And the more people believe, the more ideas rolling around, and the easier it is to make you believe what you didn't believe before.
Yes. Yeah, and then there's a buffet of ideas, and you can just pick and choose from those ideas, and like be uncomfortable with some of them, but there's so much more that you do believe, that.
Well, yeah, deep down inside of you, at the end of the night, it's reality, and there's just about the excitement of the day and people you talk to that were a lot of followers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can see people that like Chad, and I believe he has a lower mentality.
Yes.
He's getting these people to believe and read and believe in what he's preaching, and he's getting it. It's like a head swell for him. Huge.
Oh, yes.
It was finally, and somebody, and then you get to these conventions and conferences or whatever, and then you get this group.
That charge.
Yeah, it's a charge. And even the part you don't believe, you start believing it, and then you start making it even bigger and bigger and bigger and more out there.
Right.
More out there.
Yeah. No. Grace is saying, I think that kind of crazy can truly go back and forth between living the lie like it's real or living life just by compartmentalized living. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Because, he had to be, like, because, yeah. And he figured this out, apparently, when he was quite young, that he could play people in this way. And I feel like by his whole, my testimony was so strong, I feel like he played the people in his church in that way. And that I don't believe that it even was that. It was just him trying to, it wasn't about him helping other people. It was, and prophesizing and spreading the word or whatever. It was about him wanting to have that achievement of being the youngest one to, and that he's so righteous, and he's, and his countenance is so much more spiritual than, so I don't even believe his motives were pure then. And he was hitting on Tammy back then when he was trying to get into like missionary training and whatnot, so he could go on his mission. He was trying to hit up on Tammy then. So It was a show-offy thing. Everything about him is just he's trying to show off and then try to act like he's humble about it, you know. But
yeah,
it was a pattern that worked for him as a young man, and he was able to twist that and turn that into having this following because he was more enlightened, because he could see through the veil, and you know, then folks are asking him, well, if you can see through the veil, can you see my, you know, like, and it just, and he played on that. He took advantage of people in that way. So I think he is a doofus and a klutz, but I don't think that he's a stupid man. He is definitely not a stupid man. He has to be pretty savvy to pull off the scams that he pulled off, and to trick the people that he tricked. You know, now granted, they, you know, were very trusting and loving because they were part of his church group, you know, but it still took a lot of cunning for him to be able to keep that up and to pull off what he pulled off. Oh, are you there? I'm losing you.
So look at what he put forward. Him and his beautiful wife moving to the community, buying a house. They had children, adult children. They're good members of the church. She's a school teacher. He had a lot to bring into the table to make himself appear to be wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Grace says, I truly believe the abuse in the Cox family goes really far back and was worse than what could speculate. It created monsters. Something stole their humanity. And then Courtney says, I do wonder about the Cox family history. Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
Yes.
Barry was a very controlling and quite violent man, apparently. He even attacked Cope, what's his name? I forget Melanie Pulowski's father. He did that thing where he was shoving the court papers in his mouth. Like he went there and shoved court papers, like grabbed him up by his neck, took court papers and shoved them in his mouth. No, that's not going and popping somebody in the nose. That's not a quick slap or whatever. That's a very deliberate, that's like the choking thing. That is brutal. And then on top of that, shoving the papers like in his mouth, like I'm going to shove this down your throat, and then literally going and doing that. That is sociopathic. That is sociopathic. And that wasn't just brought on by one little incident. That was a revealing incident, you know, that really shows you what they were dealing with. And he's the kind of guy that was the, you know, libertarian, not going to pay taxes, going to teach other people how not to pay taxes. Yeah, exactly. And Grace says, it's cruel, you know, it's meant to humiliate. I believe that's exactly what he meant to do, because he went to his place of business to do it. He did it in front of his friends. He wanted to, you know, absolutely humiliate him, punk him out in front of his, in you know, on the highest level he possibly could. And he didn't care if he got busted for it. Just did not care. Didn't care that, you know, there was, yeah,
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy that's Lori's dad, you know? Yeah. She says, yes, the word I was looking for was sociopathic. He is definitely sociopathic. And then you have Janice. And Janice was like that mom that, like, I imagine her being like the kind of mom where she didn't even let the girls leave the house if their hair and their fingernails weren't painted and everything wasn't just absolutely spot on perfect, you know? She is just very, anyone that's, do what?
Keep up the appearances.
Keep up appearances, yeah. And anyone that's ever described her is described her as being very obsessed with appearances. Just absolutely obsessed with appearances. So, yeah, I think that that's what led to the girls' eating disorders. Like, I think that Stacy definitely had an eating disorder, and that's what killed her. I mean, she eventually came to believe that food was evil, and that people were trying to poison her. Were people maybe trying to poison her though? Like, was that valid? Like, because her family did grow up to be pretty, like she's around.
I definitely think there was some poisoning going on.
Yes.
She was deteriorating. She was wasting away.
Yes. Yeah, and then she was so terrified of food. Like, why? Why was she terrified of food? What was happening in her food that made her scared of food? I think that goes even above and beyond anorexia. She says, yeah, that's hell to grow up looking in, to have to look up to. Hell to have to, oh, yeah, that's hell to have to look up to. Yeah, and just Lori really, I think, took that on. And I feel like so this whole Ned Schneider crap, and, here's the thing though. So when Lori started doing her podcast, her podcast is about self-reliance, in that this preparing of people, like when you prepare for the end of times, you have to be self-reliant. I found it very interesting to find out that Charles's first wife, because he had 3 wives. Lori was his 3rd wife, I believe. His first wife was like a very successful hypnotherapist. Now she's a hypnotherapist. And then she's also like an author, and she's successful and well known, and people look up to her. And so I feel like even though Charles was not married to her anymore, that Lori still felt like in her shadow, and that is what led to her starting her podcast. Because I've been, like I was saying, I found out that they had started that podcast really soon after. I can't remember exactly what had happened. I've done so much research now; it's all blending together. I'd have to check my notes. I don't even have them with me, but yeah, she just was so jealous of everyone, and wanted to be the best. And so I feel like possibly Lori always felt in competition with that first wife. They were married for 15 years. That's kind of a record for these,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So there was something that drove her there, that kept her there. But as soon as she read just one book of Chad Daybell's, he swept her right off his feet with his, like, whatever. I don't know. Lori just, I think, was very focused on being completely perfect. And then the whole going on that, what was it, the Mrs. Universe or Mrs. It was one of the pageants she was in, was after she had married Joe. So she was still trying to do that stuff, even as, as a married woman. She was still kind of clinging to that pageant lifestyle. And then she was getting on, trying to get on Wheel of Fortune. She was very excited about that. Grace says, can you imagine? Oh, first she said, give some insight into why Lori has her personality. Then she said, can you imagine the cruel and underhanded insults Tylee had to hear about her weight? Oh, I'm sure. And I think that she probably fed into Tylee's, she probably did not help her in any way with her Now, I guess Lori was very free with her compliments and seemed sincere to other people, but God, that mother-daughter dynamic, I can just imagine her just being all sweet to her when folks were over, like she was proud of her too, and then just absolutely cutting her down after everybody left. I can see that happening also. So her even like acting like she was supportive of her daughter, but then just saying the most mean, cruel things after everybody leaves and the door shut. A lot of cruel comparisons, Grace said. Yeah, I bet. Oh, I bet. And then especially where she was thinking, she always felt that Tylee was Stacy born again, that Tylee had been Stacy in her past life. And Stacy was this thin little stick thin thing, so. Oh yeah, and Grace says like, yeah, I'd love to hear that voice, I'd love to hear how that voice changes when she gets angry. Yeah. No kidding. Well, we heard a little bit of it on that phone call. Are you saying I'm the Korahor? It's pretty damn high pitched. Yes. Yeah, and then they had their spiritual standoff. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm gonna pray for you. I'm gonna pray for you. Well, I'm praying for you. Yes. That was. You know what? I have a scripture for you to read. Let me get my scripture out. And they're like flinging scriptures back and forth, back and forth. That was, yeah. So see, Melanie Gibbs, like she likes to come across as this poor little, and she just kind of got swept along in the tide of everything that was happening, and she's just trying to keep her head above the water. But I mean, she held her own pretty good in that little spiritual standoff, and she doesn't seem timid and shy in the police video. She doesn't seem timid and shy in that phone call. And she doesn't seem timid and shy in her podcast either. So that's, yeah.
Yeah.
Courtney says she was so offended that Mel called her a Korahor.
Yeah.
That was great. Like it like cuts out because she gets so high pitched about. Are you saying I'm the Korahor? That was so. Oh, I had to rewind that and listen to it a few times. Oh man. Ah, ah, ah. No, I'm Joseph Smith's wife. Yeah, the Antichrist. You're the Antichrist. No, you're the Antichrist. I'm going to pray for your soul. No, I'm praying for your soul. Yes. Too much, those two. I'll have to do a dramatic reenactment of that phone call. Just for funsies. All right. So, do you guys have any questions about Idaho? Like anything you were curious about? 'Cause we don't know anybody in the case personally, but we personally know Idaho. So, oh my gosh, no way is this thing going on 2 hours long almost. Okay, so let's hear them. Let's have some questions. We both know that area pretty well.
Okay, yeah, I mean, this is going on
Rap
2
battle,
hours.
biblical edition. Andy Crayon says yes. Absolutely. It'll be like celebrity death match, but celebrity spiritual match. Non-celebrity. Wannabe celebrity. Right. I'm going to cut this thing off at 2 hours, though. So we have 10 minutes left. I can't believe it went 2 hours. That would just, time flies. Time flies when you're having fun talking to your buddies.
Yes, time does fly right by.
The more I look at that Andy Crayon's Rap Battle Biblical Edition, the more like in my mind, I'm already just like, yeah, I can picture the whole thing. Yes. Can you imagine the corner cruise and everything for that? That'd be great. Let's do this. All right. Do we know what day Tylee's birthday is?
I'm thinking September 11th. I'm not sure. Take a peek.
Do you think it was their plan to take people's property and savings and convince people to follow them? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's still the plan, and they're still trying to salvage that. Maybe not with Lori and Chad as any type of leader, but the group that they were in, I think that they were trying to take over that group and have that exactly be the case. They had that whole these end of days camps or whatever that they were going to, and it just with all of the I think that that's part of the whole everybody the kill off your spouse and have all this cash on the side. Where did all that money go? What did it go into? Like, where is all that money?
I guess I didn't realize. Okay, I'm sorry. Kylie's birthday is September 21st, and I guess I didn't realize till just now that Alex was born in 1954.
Really? The brother, Alex?
It people also searched for Alex Cox.
He's that
December
old?
15th, 19. No, that can't be.
That cannot be.
No, that's somebody else. That's the film director. Just happens to be the same name.
Right. There's a few. There's like some athletes and there's some
just the way that it
musicians.
brought it up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She was born in 2002, September 24th.
Yeah.
About another month away.
Yeah. Courtney says, agreed. They were desperate for money when they realized she didn't get that life insurance to start their mission.
She was really upset about that. She even, when the police come to her door in Rexburg and asked about the children, trying to do a welfare check at that point, she complained about not getting the insurance money.
Mm-hmm.
That he had switched that insurance money over to his family.
Yeah. Andy Crayons is saying her birthday September 24th. Is that what you mean? Or is their birthday September 24th, Andy?
Yes. Tylee's birthday is September 24th.
Right. Yes. Oh, what do we got? Mala Tubak found a penny. She's awake. You guys want to see my puppy? Get that out of your mouth, child. What have you got?
And she was last seen on September 8th. So she probably, I think that was that day at Yellowstone.
Yeah.
And JJ was last seen September 24th, which was Tylee's birthday.
Wow.
He was last seen on her birthday.
On her birthday.
Yeah, maybe he maybe that was something about the day, that day. Maybe he kept asking about her, or kept asking when are we gonna get to wish her happy birthday?
Yeah. And where is she and so forth.
Yeah, or why didn't we get her presents, or maybe that was something that was going on that day.
Yeah, definitely possible. Yeah.
Wasn't there something about that day and him climbing up on the cupboard to get onto the fridge or something?
Right, that's what they said, but they were all, I don't know. I think that was just a story or whatever, but they were doing a podcast the day before.
Right.
So, and Alex had to take him to the apartment 107 because he was disruptive while they were recording their podcast.
Yeah.
They killed him on her birthday. She died the 9th or the 8th, or 9th.
Last seen on the 8th.
Yeah, last seen on the 8th. Yeah, Andy Crowns was like, yeah, they killed her on her birthday. I think she means him on her birthday.
Yeah. That's what I meant. That they killed JJ on Tylee's birthday.
Yeah. That's horrible. Oh, wait, that September 23rd day is very significant, though. That's supposedly the day that's one of the theories of when Chad and Lori met, but that is also the same day that Joseph Smith discovered the golden plates. And so that's like a day that they, that is celebrated in the church, and it's like it's one of the, it's like a sacred day, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really feel like that part of the motivation for killing Tylee too was so that she didn't come into that money that she would have got from her father. So, of course she's evil. That makes that convenient. So then Lori can talk about how evil she is. And she says, Courtney says, I think 107 was in Lori's name and in Lori's was in Al's name. So if cops or Charles found where they lived, then it was the wrong apartment. Oh, that's a very good theory. Yeah, because it come to find out that apartment that Lori was in was actually in Chad's name. I don't know if I told you about this. Alex's name. I meant Alex. Yeah, Alex's name. Yeah, and then the small apartment, the empty apartment, the one that no one was occupying, 107, that one was in Lori's name. Alex is born in 68, Andy Crayon says. And then Courtney says, I wasn't sure the timeline. But yeah, it just, that is weird in itself. And the cops said something to the effect of it looked like no one had ever lived there. So that they just kept that place, they rented it and kept it empty, which is just so odd. I mean, there just has to be some reason for that. What is the purpose of that? So that is a really good theory, so that no matter what, if the cops or Charles found where she was at, then it's the wrong apartment anyway. She's in, if they go and they get a search warrant or whatever on the apartment owned by, or, leased by Lori, then Vallow or whatever, then it would be 107 rather than the 174. But that didn't work. They just went through 174 anyways, right? They pulled a warrant on all three places. Thank goodness. Again, not the most savvy move. They get all these burner phones, but yet carry them with them everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you shredding over there? What are you shredding? Okay, well, we should probably wrap this up. We've been talking for a couple hours now, and we will be back next Friday at 11. I did find out that I cannot stream from the farm, so we'll just be doing this green screen of the farm thing until I get up to 1,000. I think it's 1,000 subscribers that I have to be able to just stream right from my mobile. So, so I just need to hurry up and get more subscribers. And then as soon as we do that, then the lives will be actually from the farm. For now, they'll just be from wherever I get a signal. So, yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for coming, and hit that like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, hit the bell so you know when we're going to come on, and we will see you all next time. Good night.
Goodbye.
Yeah,